The man I'm about to speak to is a man many believe is the real BJP's prime ministerial candidate. Well, not just yet, because L.K. Advani is the main BJP prime ministerial candidate, but many even within that party believe that he's a stopgap arrangement. The real leader, the real voice of the Indian right, the real prime ministerial candidate is a man called Narendra Modi. He's a man who's flying high, but what kind of a man is he really? Is he, as many believe, a communal hardliner, or is he a development messiah? Those are some of the questions we will ask Narendra Modi. I wanted to ask you, to begin by asking you, what did you tell Ratan Tata that he came to your state?
Actually, I have not said anything to him. Simply, I sent a message, SMS.
What did the SMS say?
And that was Swagatam. Nothing else.
And that did the trick?
That it was the beginning.
I want to ask you, there were several states vying for the Nano. What, according to you, shifted the ball into your court and brought the project to Gujarat?
Number one, I never tried for it. Never. When all the governments were trying to do this project, I was quite silent. I never talked to anyone. When ultimately he decided and he went to the air, and in the press conference when he said that now we are closing. That press was at 5 o'clock in the evening, I think. At 5:30 I sent a small message, SMS, Swagatam. I never wrote a letter to him, never tried to meet him, nothing. Then that people came. I said, we are a very policy-driven state. Here is the area, if you are interested, go and see. They said time is an essence. I said, for me, in time working is my habit. Everything I used to do is on time. So then, even Ratan Tata publicly has admired this. That I was thinking that before 9 months I will not get the land. Whereas in Gujarat, within a week, everything was completed. So efficiency is the reason.
Is there any particular SOP that you offered that other states couldn't match?
I never offer SOP. Whatever there in my policy, it is available on the internet. No extra benefit. Even they have to pay the price for the land. Not only that, compound interest is there. If it will be delayed for the payment, the Tata will have to pay compound interest. And I'm only a state who is asking for the compound interest.
I want to also ask you, the reason Nano went to you clearly goes back to the entire issue of development. One of the reasons that you are admired is development. The captains of industry came together and said that they would want to see you as Prime Minister. In the development agenda of the BJP, why do you believe that Gujarat is the only state that stands out? Why is that model not? Why does that model not replicate itself in other parts of India, including in the BJP states?
Number one, I do not claim at all. I never claim. It is the people who are trying to judge the situation, and they come to conclusion that Gujarat is doing well. I have not claimed. Even today I am not claiming. Let the people judge what is the situation there in Gujarat. Whether it is developing fast or not, whether there is a good governance is not there, whether there is a high efficiency level is there. Let the people judge. Why should I claim?
Why does it, but that doesn't answer the question, why does the model not replicate even in the BJP ruled states? If it is a model of...
I think this is not the correct analysis.
Right.
Each and every state, they have their own peculiar situation.
Right.
They will have to work according to their available resources, available situation. But there is a debate If Gujarat can do, why not others can do?
Many people believe that this election, the way it's turning out, Advani ji is leading the BJP, he is the prime ministerial candidate, but actually, in reality, it is becoming a battle between Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi leading the Congress, and essentially already both parties are looking to the future when that battle will actually happen.
In democracy, there is no space for battle. In democracy, we'll have to educate the people, let people decide, and the citizen of the country, they are real strength, they are real future of the country, and it is better that we all must focus on the citizens.
You don't see yourself as a prime ministerial candidate in the future?
I always see myself as a humble servant of Gujarat, people of Gujarat, those who have assigned me this responsibility, and it's my duty to fulfill that responsibility.
Many people believe that what has changed in the last few years is that Narendra Modi is beginning to see the national picture. Till now, he was completely concerned with Gujarat. Now he's looking at the national picture because he sees his role expanding as he takes over in that sense the mantle of leadership of the BJP.
This is injustice to Modi. I see globally because we are working in a global era. So even for my state, I look at the globally. I am only a state in the country which have started a department for the global warming.
I also want to ask you, therefore, if you were to become Prime Minister, what were the three things that would be topmost on your mind?
I am busy with Gujarat. My whole focus is for Gujarat. What I want, whomsoever will be a Prime Minister, my humble request is, please try to help me in my Gujarat. Please support my Gujarat. Please don't create any hurdles in the development. People want development. I'm committed to development.
Okay, let me then come to another question. My question to you is, essentially, a lot of people believe now with the recent Supreme Court judgment, the BJP claims it basically validates what the BJP has been saying for many years. The Congress says it validates what they have been saying. What is your viewpoint of the Supreme Court judgment?
They went there with the Supreme Court to transfer the case from Gujarat to other states. That was one single demand they made.
That has been, the court has said no, there is no need.
But then it is up to you to take the decision.
But the court has also said relook at many cases.
What?
Many.
It is the Gujarat government who has said. It's not the Supreme Court saying.
So you believe the Supreme Court judgment validates the point that you have made for many years?
I do not understand. I am not a lawyer.
Right. To be fair, nor am I.
And why should I analyze the judgments?
Because you're the Chief Minister of the state, sir.
So let my office will work according to that Supreme Court judgment. My office will work.
Clearly, you are lauded for your oratory skills. But one of the criticisms that has come in the recent past, even from within your own party, I spoke to Sushma Swaraj, several people, is that some of the things that you have said and the responses come from some of the leaders of the Congress, including the Buriya, Guriya issue and all of that. The question is, you are known for your development work. When the country faces such a development issue and a crisis, why must the debate come to this level?
Is there any sentence, single sentence, I have ever mentioned the name of any person? Then please show to the TV. And if there is anything wrong in it, then have a debate. Simply, if I say about the aquarium fish, and you are talking about the person, when I am talking about the old age party, when you are talking about the person, it is for your 24-hour channel. Just you want to do the business. Factually, I am wrong. Then what is wrong with you? Then why you are debating?